Start recording. Okay. Uh,
Hello, sir. Hello.
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 I can hear
Hello,
you.
sir.
Hello.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ স্যার, আমি বলছি স্যার অনেক স্টুডেন্ট আছে যারা স্যার গ্রুপেই নেই। ওরা ওরা ঢুকতে পারছে না স্যার গ্রুপে। আপনি একটা কাজ করুন, আমাদের ক্লাসে যারা আছে তাদের সবাইকে গ্রুপে অ্যাড তো করুন। আমিও স্যার অন্য একটা ওই বন্ধু ডাকলো বলে ঢুকলাম।
Yes,
গ্রুপটা
sir. He's right,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
লাস্টে স্যার তিন দিন থেকে আমি স্যার ক্লাস করতে পারছি না এই কারণে।
Yes, sir.
Add
हम लोग
কিভাবে?
दूसरे क्लास में जाकर बैठ जा रहे हैं सर।
আপনি আপনি স্যার আগে সবাইকে অ্যাড করুন, তারপর ক্লাস চালু করবেন।
Uh, it will be better. I will talk to your HOD or someone who is managing this team. This is my first day. I don't know that how the students who are the student of this class. I don't have any list and anything else. So it will be better that we can talk to HOD. If someone is has that list, he will either share this list or so that I can add the members. I have been informed that everyone has received this invitation, so everyone will be able to join this class.
No, sir.
ये गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन है सर।
Okay. So at this moment here, total number of participants is approximately 43 or 44. So rest of the people are unable to join here. Okay, give me some time. I will talk to HOD.
You can, sir.
Yeah. Okay, as the HOD informed me that if someone is unable to join this class, probably you will be able to invite him and you can recognize him. So you know every one of your batchmates. So you can invite them and he will take look into this matter at the end of the day. He's right now busy in some other activities. So he will look into this matter later on. Is there anyone waiting? Hello, who is CR of this batch?
Sir, I am DCR.
Your name, please.
Milind.
Okay. So, is there anyone who is waiting?
Sir, I am not aware of it, sir. If there is anyone who is left to be joined, I don't know, sir. I have not been informed about it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, may I continue?
Yes, sir. You can continue, sir.
Okay. I think you can see my screen. So, I will start with a very simple code like this one. Few things may be repeated as I don't know that which topics has been already covered. Okay, so let me write a class like test main. Okay, so I will create a class. This class contains this method public static void main. I think you know why it's public, why static void, and this argument, whether it has been discussed with you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, let me create one class. Okay, so name of this class is I'm creating a dummy class, class A. This class contains some variables like x, y. I'm going to initialize it here. Okay. Now, if I create object of this class A, I'm going to create an object of this class A here. So let the name of this very object reference is A. So I'm creating an object of this. Okay. So all of you are familiar with this one. Now, what is this one? New A, then we are using starting brace and closing brace. So this one is basically a constructor. So if we have created or defined a class A, now when we are going to create an object of this class, then we are using this constructor. Okay, so this new A will create an object. Sometimes it's known as instance of this class. So that will be created and that can be accessed by this alias name A. If I create another object, then say I am creating two objects, one is A1, another one is A2. We are creating two objects of the same class. So this is basically a constructor. So what is the purpose of the constructor? Constructor is basically called to allocate the memory for this class. Okay, let me discuss with some example. If I say room is class or object, what do you understand? What is room? Room is class or object?
Sir, class.
Then what will be the object of room?
Chairs and tables.
Huh? Hello? Rahul?
Sir, chairs and tables might be the objects of class.
Okay. So chair and table, these are objects, and room is class. Are you saying this?
Yes, sir, in real world, sir, not in Java type.
Okay, conceptually the things are same. So any different opinion? Huh. Ritik?
So room is object, and so room is the object basically, and the blueprint of the room you may call class, because class has no some memory space, but when you create a object for this class, compiler creates some memory space in main memory, so we can say the class is the blueprint of the object.
Okay, it will help me a lot. If you can interact with me, then it will be easier to understand that is there any doubt or not, or whether all of you have understood it very clearly. So try to disturb me. If you can disturb me, I will be very happy. If you can interrupt me, it will be obviously very helpful to me. Okay, try to understand that what is class and what is object. Though few things has been already discussed with you in previous classes, but let me discuss it or repeat it again. If I say room is basically a class, because okay, why it's class? If I say table or chair, table is a class, chair is a class, room is again a class. Then what is object? Object is, as you have already mentioned, that class is basically a blueprint. Okay, so if class is a blueprint, then a class contains some properties, it has some attributes. If we say room, for a room, whether we can say that number of legs, but in case of chair or table, we can say number of legs. So number of legs is an attribute or property for both table and chair. Okay, but it's not a property for room. But in case of room, we have number of windows, number of doors. But number of doors, number of windows, these are not properties of table and chair. Okay. Now, if so, we can differentiate table, chair with room by its properties. Now, if I say table and chair, whether a table and chair, they have the common properties. They have lots of common properties. But hello, do you have any query?
No, sir.
Okay, so in case of table and chair, there are lots of common properties like number of legs, area. So these are the properties. Now, in case of table, do you have handrest? Handrest is not a property of a table, but handrest is a property of a chair. Okay, So how we can distinguish two classes? Two classes can be distinguished by their properties. Okay, so class is blueprint, as you have mentioned. Sure, obviously a class is blueprint. So a class will be identified by its properties. So each and every class must have some different property. They may have common property, they may have different properties. Now what is object then? Then the next question comes here, what is object? So if I say room, so what are the common properties? Number of walls, number of doors, number of windows, area, height, length, width. Okay, these are the properties. So you have to include all the properties of a room. Now if I say room number 202 of TICT, try to understand room number 202 at TICT. What do you understand by this? Now you can visualize that there is a room 202, probably it is on first floor or second floor based on the numbering. Probably you have entered the room, or you may not have entered the room, but you have seen that room. So room number 202 of TICT is an object of a room. If I say room, we don't know what is the length, what is the width of the room, because the room has no existence at this moment. Room is a concept. So room is a blueprint that if this properties belongs to something, then it's a class, then it's a room. Now if I say room number 202 of TICT, that means it's an object of this class. Now it has a real existence. Room number 202 has a real existence. Am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I say your reading room, then your reading room has the same properties. It has length, width, height, number of windows, number of doors. Okay. So your reading room is again a room. So your reading room, your friend's reading room, these are the objects of room. So in class and object, in programming perspective, room is a class. You can define a class as room. Now, if we create an object of this room, if it's room number 202, then it has, say, the length of this room is 20 feet, height is 12 feet, width is 15 feet. Okay. So the other properties are to be assigned. So when we are creating an object of this, then we are calling the constructor. So constructor is basically used to allocate the memory for this room. Now, similarly, for your reading room or your friend's reading room, it's a room. So it's an object or instance of the room class. So your reading room, your friend's reading room, these two are different objects. Now, your reading room, its length, width, and height may differ with your friend's reading room. So these are basically objects of the same class. So we are taking example of 3 objects of the same class. Your classroom, room number 202, your reading room, your friend's reading room. So these are the objects. So a class is blueprint. An object has real existence. As you can see that it has real existence. So if we create an object, it has real existence. That means in program, in system, memory needs to be allocated for this object. Okay, so memory will be allocated for this object. Now, So am I clear to you? Little bit. Later on, you will understand everything. For the first few classes, am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I say in your room, you have chairs, tables. So chair is again a class. Table is again a class. In your home, if you have 10 tables, 5 chairs, or vice versa, then these 5 chairs which are kept in your room are objects of chair class. Okay. In your friend's home, if he or she has 4 chairs, these 4 chairs are basically object of the chair class. So chair is a class, it's a prototype. If this properties belongs to something, then it belongs to this class. Now, when we are allocating it in reality, then it's an object. Let me draw some other example, like when after getting your job, after 1 or 2 years, you have a plan that you will buy a land and you will build a home. Okay, so you will design your house or you will consult with some civil engineer. He or she may be your friend, so you will consult with him or her. Then you are going to develop or build your house at some place. So what will be the first task? In this perspective, the first task is allocate the land. Okay, you have to purchase the land. After purchasing the land, you have to allocate it. Okay, so the first task is land allocation. In programming perspective, we will say it memory allocation. These two things are very similar. So first task is, so you will go to your some civil engineer, he will give you a plan. This plan is basically the blueprint. Based on that blueprint, you will build your house. Okay, so this building plan is nothing but a class. Now the same building plan may be sold to 5 people. So 5 people will use the same plan to create 5 different objects of the same class at different locations. So at 5 locations, they have to allocate land. In programming perspective, for the same class, you have to allocate memory for 5 objects. Okay, try to compare these two things. So here, the first task is memory allocation. So if we talk about memory allocation, then when a constructor is being called, then it will be used to allocate the memory for a class. Okay, so constructor is being used to allocate the memory for an object. Now, I will not show you, probably I don't have any time to show you any code as we are already late and hello. Okay, so we are going to, okay, the next step is, so after allocating the memory, so who will allocate the memory? Here constructor will allocate the memory. Now, for a class, if constructor is not present, then system will provide default constructor. But if you have your own constructor within this class, then default constructor will be withdrawn. Okay, so if you are going to allocate memory, so up to this, I think I'm able to clear a little bit concept. Okay, am I?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You are
sir.
clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, before going to code, let me discuss few more things. Now, if you say that you have a home, so in that home, you have lots of objects. So your home is an object of, or your house is an object of house class. Now this house contains a number of rooms. So these rooms are also objects of the room class. Now in your room, you have lots of furnitures. These furnitures are basically objects of the same furniture class. Like if it's a sofa, then it's an object of sofa class. If it's table, table is an object of table class. Now, am I creating a confusion? No, the things are very simple. So we have a class and we have some objects of the class. So class is property, and when we are creating an object, object is basically an instance which has a real existence. If I say room, room has no real existence. You can imagine that a room will have length, width, height, but you can't understand that what is the length of a room, where it resides, what is the location of the room. That things are not known. So room is a concept, but a specific room is an object. Now, if I say that a room, your house contains lots of objects, so obviously no issue. The matter is basically, it's an aggregation. Conceptually, the term aggregation is used here. So it's aggregation. So what do we understand by aggregation? Basically, aggregation is collection of objects to build another object. Okay, so to build an object of house, you have to purchase furniture, you have to create some room, you have to design something, so you have to purchase lots of things, tables, chairs, furniture, so lots of things are there. So this concept is aggregation. To decorate your room, you will purchase lots of things. So we are combining many objects to build our house. Okay, so we are aggregating them, we are collecting them to decorate. So this is aggregation. Okay, nothing else. So I will okay, in this perspective, I will mention one thing to you. Try to remember that in C programming language, you have learned garbage collection. Am I? So you have learned
No,
garbage
sir.
collection.
Sir, in
No.
C we do not have garbage collection, sir. We have to do it by our own, sir.
Okay, basically when you are allocating a memory using malloc, calloc, realloc, or you are deallocating the memory using free function. So basically the memory is being allocated and deallocated. So based on the requirement, based on your need, you can perform these operations. Now, my question is, in case of C language, if you allocate a memory for an integer variable, so if you print that value, what will be the value? Say you have declared int x, and after that you have written printf x. What will be the output? It will print a garbage value.
Sir, some garbage value. Yes.
Okay, it's a garbage value. In case of Java programming language, it will be 0. It will not be garbage. Just I'm giving one example so that you can remember it. In C programming language, if you purchase a land from the landowner, you will just hand over the deed. Okay, but he will not clean the land. He will not clean up the area. He will not perform anything. Just the land will be handed over to you. But in Java programming language, if you allocate a memory for an object, memory will be allocated, as well as the memory which is being allocated for this object, that will be cleaned. Okay, so it will be initialized by initial value. Okay, so in case of integer variable, it will be allocated by, it will be assigned by 0. So there are some difference in garbage collection or garbage management. So those things will be discussed in last few classes in detail, not here. Okay, so let me start with this one. So we have only 15 minutes in our hand. Okay, so here we are allocating the memory using constructor. Okay, so if I run this program, I'm just writing this. I want to print a1 dot this memory, this variable x, nothing else. I want to print this. So if I run this program, it will be 1. The value of x is being printed. Okay. My next question is, okay, initially I will just block this line. Now, if I go to A, I'm going to, is there any constructor in this class? We do not have any constructor. So who is provided? Huh?
Sir, it is given by the compiler.
So if a class do not have any constructor, the default constructor will be provided by the system. Okay. Now, if I write a constructor like a int x, okay, so I'm going to use this dot x equals x. Okay. Oh, better, I will use a different name at this moment, as this is the start in classes. So x equals to the parameter which will be received by a, this constructor a, that will be assigned to variable x. So it's a parameterized constructor. Now if I go there, I can create an object of this class in this way. But if I want to create another object a2 using default constructor, it's not possible. So as you can visualize, if a class contains any constructor, default constructor is being revoked, it is being withdrawn. So once you define a constructor in a class, default constructor is not accessible in future. It will not be provided by the system or JVM. Okay. Now, my next question is, a class may have multiple constructors like this one. If I create another class, so say it's B, I'm creating another constructor. So y equals to B. Y equals to B. So I can, from this program, I can call this on, say it's 10, 15. So a class may have multiple constructors, but the syntaxes should be different. Basically, the signature should be different. So what is signature? Basically, the number of parameters and their data types, that should be different and non-conflicting. So we may have a class where we can define multiple constructors. The constructors will be executed as per the requirement. So we can call the constructors according to our requirement. So when I need to create an object like this one, or we can pass two variables, I will call it When I'm able to pass one variable, I can call this on. It's a theoretical part. Now, I want to know that where should I use. So this, if you have multiple constructor in a class, this is known as constructor overloading. We have multiple class constructors in a class. Now, can you give me one example where this multiple constructors is needed? Anyone, can you give me one example where we have to define multiple constructor? Hello? May I ask someone? Shobhik? Can you give me one example? Huh? Shurabhi? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Can you give me one example where multiple constructors are needed?
So constructor overloading.
So constructor overloading is a technique by which we can define multiple constructor within the same class.
Yes.
Now, why it's needed? Why multiple constructors are needed in a class? Any example? Anyone? Okay.
Sir,
You can tell me. Ritik.
say if we want to, yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah,
Hello.
you are audible, huh?
If I want to create a function that is to calculate area, okay, but I want to calculate area of different shapes that may have one input or like or two input like a square. I have to call the only one function. So I can pass one cube and two hello for square.
Okay. So, okay. Let me give one example. This is the real scenario that when you are going to say you are going to an office to participate an event. So there are some criteria that you have to submit these documents to attend this or participate this event. Now, if you say that I have brought only 5 documents out of 10 required documents, they can tell you that, okay, you are being allowed at this moment, but after or within 2 hours or next 3 hours, you have to submit the remaining documents. So one object, as a participant, one object will be created for you.
सर कहाँ गए रे?
ढूंढ लो जाके।
क्या बोला?
ढूंढ लो कहाँ गए।
गए सर गए।
ढूंढो ढूंढो रे साजना।
खुद ही
नहीं
एग्जिट हो गए।
रोहित, नहीं रोहित, रिकॉर्डिंग ऑन है अभी भी।
मिलिंद सर को बुलाओ।
जो ढूंढ रहा था वही बुलाएगा सर को।
Oh, hello.
Yes sir.
Yes
You are
sir.
audible sir.
Yeah, I was disconnected somehow.
यस सर।
हो जाता है सर, कोई नहीं।
Okay, just a minute. So basically, when we are creating a class having multiple constructors, so if you participate this event, so if you bring 5 documents, another participant is bringing 10 documents, another is 7 documents, but we have to create object of the same class. As a participant, we have to create participant object for every participant. We can't tell a participant that you have to bring all the documents, then you will be added in this participant list. If your criteria is so, you can strictly follow this rule, but in most of the cases, generally this type of relaxation is there. So if we create a participant class, then the participants are to be allocated. Okay, so we have to create multiple constructor. If the participant brings these 2 documents, one constructor will be written for that. If we create another participant who brings 5 documents, then we will create one constructor for that. In simple form, if I create a calculator class, in a calculator class, if I have add function or add method, I want to add 2 numbers, 2 integers. I'm simplifying this problem. I want to add 2 integers. So the method will receive 2 attributes, 2 variables or parameters. If I want to add 3 values, I have to write the corresponding method or overloaded method. So in the similar way, so when we are creating a constructor of a class, the object creation, at the time of object creation, we may have few items available which are to be initialized. In a class, we may have 10 or 15 number of attributes. Out of them, few are available at this moment. So this constructor will assign those available data. Okay. So this is the reason, that's why we have to create multiple constructor or overloaded constructors of a class. Is it clear?
Yes sir।
Okay. And the
Yes,
next
sir.
step, if you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, will you be taking our lab class also?
yeah, obviously.
Okay, sir.
That will be enough time for lab because we have only 3 theory classes.
Yes, sir.
And but in a lab we have 4 hours in our hand.
Yes, sir.
It would be better if we can meet in our college, but as it's not possible due to this scenario, that's why we have to meet over here. So beyond these 3 and 4 hours, if you want to communicate with me, if you have any doubt at any moment, feel free to communicate. I can share you my mobile number, so you can feel free to communicate me.
Sir, are you added in that group, sir? Official group.
Yeah, an official group. If
Yeah.
I share it over chat here.
Yeah, no problem, sir.
Okay, this is my number. Okay, so I have next class in section B. So I will leave.
Sir, we also have class now.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
sir. We also have another class, sir.
Okay, so I will leave at this moment. Okay, so we'll meet on the next day. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
बाय सर।
सर चले गए।
ভালো থেকে।
ठीक हो।
हेलो।
हाँ बोलिए।
ओएस का क्लास होगा?
हाँ होगा, सर 3 ही बजे से क्लास ले रहे थे।
हेलो।